seeing what we do in the overnight session. I'm not going to get too much into daily profiles in this lesson, and I don't really know if I'm going to go over it in this boot camp, but you just have to know that, if London Asia session, again, like I was saying, was bad and bad price action, New York AM session is probably going to go for that liquidity on London Asia session. Or if we have great price action during the Asia session and London session, then we're probably not going to go back to those lows, and either the price action will be bad or we'll just continue the trend during Asia or London session, right? So that's just something to note. And let's just keep moving on, right? We can keep skipping through. We can look through the day after this, right? And then we can see, what does lunch hour and PM session do? Absolutely nothing, right? Because what did we have? We had a really good movement during AM session where we dumped around 170 points. We had really great movement, really clean. And then what's lunch hour and PM session going to be? Probably a lot worse price action. Sometimes we get like spikes of volatility here and there, but it's just not the best to be trading during this time. All right, let's look at another day, right? Here's Asia session opening up now. We have some movement. London session also moves quite a bit, right? It's not like the worst session, but we moved around 50 points and pretty much the same thing. Moved around like 70 points during Asia session and London session. Now let's look at what New York AM session does. Boom. You see, I mean, it's pretty much the same exact thing that happened yesterday. It's literally the same exact thing that happened yesterday, just to the upside now, right? So this is typically like that New York reversal that you're going to see. This is like typically the daily profile you're going to get, like the classic daily profile that you're going to see. But yeah, we end up just ripping up here and taking out these draws in liquidity and these draws in liquidity, because this was just a lot of accumulation. What did New York AM session do? Manipulate, distribute, bam, 150 points. And again, like 5 freaking minutes, we end up running through all of these highs. And what did we react off of? If you look at that, New York AM session lows. So we reacted off of that draw on liquidity there and that sell side liquidity. And then we started targeting these highs and these draws on liquidity here, being London session highs right there. And then also being what? Asia session highs right around there. And you see that we just run through all these draws and then we react off it. And then what do we get? Displacement back lower. So you can see that you can kind of catch reversals off these areas as well as target these areas of liquidity, right? So that's just typically how price action moves. I mean, there's also days though where we can have pretty big moves overnight. You can see like New York PM session also moved. Like again, this is not every single day where price action is going to look like this, but let's see. Asia session here. This was London. Again, pretty choppy day. And then New York AM session looks a lot better, right? It looks a lot cleaner. So that's again, typically how it's going to look is like Asia session is going to move, around 50 points. This day wasn't that great in general either overall, but like we did have, I would say, cleaner movement, right? We had more displacement towards a more obvious area, but we actually ended up leaving London lows. I'm curious to see if we had an SMT. No, we ended up just leaving London lows. So again, not every day we're going to have like super clean deliveries on price action. Okay, this was Christmas Eve, so it wasn't even like a validated trade. I thought I went more back. I want to try to go more back to see if like you guys can just see how price action is. For example, look at New York AM session here, bro. We just dumped freaking 400 points, and what did London session do? Move around 100 points, and then New York AM session dumps 400 points, taking out all of this London session lows, draws in liquidity, all these draws in liquidity. So yeah, again, that's typically how the market's going to move. Is it's typically going to be worse during Asia, London, and PM and lunch hour, and then New York AM session is typically when the draws and the volatility is going to be the best, which is when I'm going to trade. Now, I then want to go into news. Let's go into news because that is a pretty huge factor when it comes to time and understanding when news drops and all that stuff. So let's head over to Forex Factory. Let's do it. All right, so what I want you guys to do is go on your web browser and search up Forex Factory. Okay, Forex Factory. Okay, so Forex Factory is where we're going to see all the news. I check my Forex Factory every single morning, and this is what you have to do. Okay, this is the news for the week. It probably doesn't look like this on your screen yet, so let me run you through my settings. Okay, so you go up here and you click this button right here. Expected impact. Yeah, I honestly should have orange folder on because sometimes some orange folder does provide some news. So put that red folder on, put that orange folder on, and put only USD. Okay, you probably have all of these shit selected right now. Unclick, click none, and then just click USD. Okay, that's it. That's all you need. And have red folder, orange folder on. You don't really need orange folder. Whatever. Just have it both on. Click apply filter, and bada bing, bada boom. Here is the news that we have for the week. Okay, so we had PMI at 10 a.m. today. Now with news, I don't recommend trading before news. I recommend just waiting for news to drop and trading after news, like 5 minutes after news. I'll give yourself that window. Like, I mean, if you are going to trade before news, make sure it's not like right before, like a minute before news drops, because you're obviously probably going to get manipulated and stopped out. I would say give yourself like a 5-minute window. If it's, like 9:40 and you're taking a trade and there's news at 10 a.m., I would say it's valid, but just make sure to like recognize how price action is. Typically what usually happens is price action likes to be choppy before news drops, and then news drops and then it cleans it up. Or sometimes price action is just really clean and the news will just deliver deliver to the draw. So yeah, we had news today at 10 a.m. Today was just overall a super, super choppy day. So there was really nothing from today that was like good. But you can see that we had news drop at 10 a.m. and you can see we kind of had a pretty nice candle. This isn't like the most significant news day, but the candle happened pretty fast. I mean, it was a 40-point candle. This news really wasn't that significant at all. Going back to Forex Factory here, right? We have a couple of different things I want you guys to look at. So we have non-farm employment change. You don't really need to worry about this. PMI, JOLTS jobs openings. This is, similar to the Monday's, Monday's news event. But yeah, JOLTS jobs openings. This is probably going to be another pretty wicky candle. Sometimes it can be big. Sometimes it can be small. You really don't know with like PMI and job openings and stuff like that. Unemployment claims happens at 8:30. And then we have Friday, the first Friday of every month is NFP. So NFP is a really, really strong mover in price. It's a lot of volatility, a lot of injection in the market. So make sure, NFP day is a really strong